What's your need? Digital embroidery, branding of souvenirs, engraving on all materials, t-shirt printing. We got you covered at Creative Line. Contact Creative Line on 0244 695057. Creative Line. Serving you is our passion.
Welcome to Potbelly TV. I'm your host, Mr. Zakwata. Now, imagine leaving everything familiar behind your home, your language, your career, and starting all over in a different country. Now, imagine doing all this thing while you continue to teach tech, inspire people, and shape young girls and guys in a whole new system. My guest on the show is Mr. Deveer, an educator in the United States, with my co-host, Mr. Isaac. We'll discuss the life in the United States and also help teachers migrate to the United States smoothly. They will tell us the documentations and what they need to know and what they need to do if they are interested in migrating to the United States. Also, you can also migrate to South Africa. He has been there. He's going to share some of his experience there too as well. So stay tuned. Keep watching Potbelly TV. Welcome to the show, Mr. Deveer.
Thank you.
Let's go way back to school. So I heard you were lecturing in school, even let's say when you were in senior high school and you were at the university. Were you a lecturer?
No, I was not. I was not lecturing, but one thing I enjoyed doing was like sharing knowledge with my colleagues. So like teaching them, explaining stuff to them. So yeah, that was what I was doing most of the time.
So I heard your name was Manny Fresh way back then. How did you get that name, Manny Fresh?
My roommate gave me that name, so he'll be the best person to explain it. But I think it all actually came from the fact that when we're in like level 100, we had a lot of money in level 100 because we barely went out to spend money, go to the restaurant. We just spent time drinking cocoa and bread, even when we had money. So when we moved to level 200, and then we're in the hostel, I think we were cooking a lot by ourselves. So I think through one conversation, we're like, Charlie, forget the money for spend them, then you for look fresh. You see? So I think it came from that, yeah, and then yeah. So we went into the university and then we're looking more of like we should have let the university go through us rather than us going through the university. So I think that's how probably he came up with it, man. And he was a cash cow. So
Pascal.
yeah,
So that was how the money
I
came
think
about.
I want to know which roommate was that. I want to know that roommate.
oh, that's eraser, quick eraser. That's him right there.
Oh, it's not me. It's not me. Me, I don't have
Charlie,
cow.
That's actually the host.
Oh, how can a slim man like me be a cow? It's not possible.
We even I think we have pictures like that. It's one of like my favorite pictures. When we had I think we went to play soccer, we came back and then we had a bottle of Pure Joy. Was it Pure Joy? Something like that.
Yeah,
Pure
pure
joy.
joy.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was a fruit juice. And then there was like about 7, 8 of us trying to share that drink, and people had utensils trying to get a drink.
That picture still
I see.
exists. It still
Oh
exists.
yeah.
So when you're in the base, where you practice as assistant, as in teaching assistant, you do have any experience with that?
No. I was never a teaching assistant in the uni. Um, I did like no form of teaching in uni. I think the only thing I would probably do would be like explaining, like teaching my colleagues or explaining stuff to colleagues. That was it. But like something really formal to work under maybe the university, like a T or something, I never did anything like that.
Okay, so what did you study when you were at the university?
Oh, I did actuarial sciences.
Oh, okay. But did you start a career with that, or you like some
No,
of us who studied some courses that they follow the path? So
no,
did you
no,
follow your path? Why?
no. So I think the time I did actuarial sciences in UCC, that was like actuarial science was now booming in Ghana. It wasn't really something like people knew. I think we were actually like the fifth year group. I'm not so sure. So even in UCC, they never admitted a lot of people. Mostly we're just like 20 to 25 students every year. So the main reason why I didn't pursue it further was I felt like we didn't have the opportunities in Ghana. So I was looking at probably moving outside the country, and then that was where I could really dive into it. And I didn't get opportunity when I wanted to, so that's why I didn't pursue it further. So
Okay.
that led me to going to South Africa because by then South Africa had its like they had like grounds for it. So the main idea was to go to South Africa and then pursue it. And then I go there and then life also happened. So yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So let's say before we go into your South Africa whole thing, I remember back in school, you even if you don't go for lectures, and we go to sit in
I
lecture
I
hall
know
for
where you
2 hours.
can
We
go.
return
I know
and then
where
you
you
come to
going.
explain things to us. How do you do that?
Um, myself personally, maybe at that time I would not be able to like explain to it why that was happening. But after spending time in the educational system for a while, I think probably I can explain that. So we have a group of kids called gifted. We've got kids called like gifted students. So a gifted student could be you could be gifted in any form. It could be music, it could be at math, it could be at reading, it could be at anything. So you could be gifted in music, but you might not be gifted in math. So you'd see like there are some people who can play any instrument, no matter what. Like even if you don't teach them, they just observe it and they're able to play it, right?
Okay.
So, but when you come to books, they can solve simple questions. So you can probably take like maybe those who do rapping, you can have somebody write like lyrics and then they would rap it and 10 years time they'll still rap it for you, but just give them a simple equation to solve. They will not even be able to remember what that equation is. So I would say probably naturally I was one of those kids. I was maybe gifted academically. So that's what I can say to it. And then I think one thing also was every time I just have somebody teaching me something, um, I just try to connect to the dots, like get an understanding. Why is this? And then I'm able to link what I already know to what I'm currently learning and then connect it to, oh, what is it going to be? So I got like much more deeper understanding. So it was easy for me to analyze and then come up with like the knowledge. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
and let me come in with this one as well. You were one of the gifted peoples. I won't forget that. When we were back in school, you were one of the gifted people, like top students in the class. Is it that you prefer to go into teaching than lecturing, or you had your own plans of helping the younger ones get into that field of which you've been able to achieve, or it's just a choice that you prefer to choose to teach in the senior high school rather than a choice of being a lecturer, or they didn't give you that opportunity at all from UCC?
I think I didn't take that opportunity. I didn't go into I think maybe in the near future I would go into lecturing, but with my personal idea and decision, I don't think lecturing would um make me achieve my goals because I feel like lecturers actually do nothing, you know. We've all been to the university, like the connection you have with kids in elementary school, with kids in like middle school, kids with high school, that is not there in like uni. Lecturing is like a whole different thing altogether. Like I feel like lecturers are more of like supervisors than teachers. So that's why I prefer to deal with the. I want to be like I want to have that close connection with those I'm trying to give support. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to South Africa.
Yeah.
How did that opportunity came? Because I know those opportunities are not something that's, it's just on the street that you just go and you just say, oh, I'm relocating to South Africa. So take us through the steps which help you to relocate to South Africa to start teaching.
All right. Okay. So just like I said previously, after I was done with actuarial science, and then I was looking at federal it in the States, and then I did not get the visa. Then what happened was a past teacher, like Mr. Dade, said, "Oh, actuarial science is booming in South Africa, so you can come over, look at how their system is, and then if you like it, you you can just pursue it here." So right after service, I think like a week right after service, I used to the trip to South Africa. I saw how their system was, and then I put in my evaluation, spent like about a month and a half or a month, like 2 months. I don't really remember. Um, and then I came back. I came back to Ghana, and then early January 2014, yeah, I left back to South Africa to to go back to school, try to get into the actual science program. So then now, it was more of like, oh, let me get some work to do and then try to pay my own fees because I didn't, I just felt like, oh, I wanted to do something by myself without my parents, right? So I'm like, okay, fine, let me just, I don't want, because it's one thing that people don't really know. When you travel to school, you kind of develop that mindset of like, I want to work and then pay for my own fees and earn something instead of like depending on your parents, irrespective of whatever their financial background would be. Sometimes you just want to be
Yeah,
on your own sometimes.
yeah, cool.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, let me work and then pay my fees. And then like in the reality you could see how I thought it was going to be easy getting into their system. It wasn't that easy. Yeah. So then
Okay.
eventually when I started working, I had to divert from pursuing actuarial science to pursuing education because I wasn't really a qualified teacher. I was, yeah. So when I started working, I was just like a normal degree holder, somebody not trained in education. And then when I started working, now I was forced to pursue education and become like a qualified teacher. So myself personally, I'm like, oh, this is something I enjoy doing. So let me just do it. And then as I did it, I fell in love with it more, and that has been the journey.
So what are some of the works when you go to South Africa? What are some of the jobs you did? And washing bay, cleaning or cleaning and
No, I didn't do any. I didn't do any of those jobs. My first job was directly into teaching. Yeah, but it was a little bit of a struggle to land a job. So um, you could. It's funny. It's you could go to school. You start working for like about 2 weeks or about a month, and then the next second you be told, oh, we couldn't process your documents and all that. So, or they'll say, oh, like the department sent, they had students called Funsha Lushaka. So Funza Lushaka were like students who were sponsored to do education in school. Like the government sponsors them to do education in school. So they post them to schools when they are done. So you might
okay.
probably be in your post and then they tell you, oh, we're sending a Funza Lushaka to come and take your position. So then you would have to leave and go find a different place to work again. So my first year, my first year was a little bit of a struggle landing like a permanent job for like a longer time. And then eventually 2014, no, 2015, I landed like my first job, which I was able to work for like 3 months. And then there were issues with foreigners in South Africa. Like we created
Yeah,
that we created that whole issue. So they had to flash their system. They
yeah,
had to flash their system, and then like um in 2015, I was working for like almost 3 months. We had like a new department, like we had a new boss in HR, and then he was trying to flash the system and then make sure like everybody that was in the system was all good, right? So he was the one who actually told me, hey, DB, I see you've got like a good qualification and all that. And with your background, if I want to pay you, I can pay you because you are more than qualified. But the only thing is you are not a teacher. So I can use that against you. So if you can pursue to become a professional teacher, then I can have you um, work for me. So he was the one who actually pushed me to now go do education. So he said, I'm not going to make you unemployed. I'm going to make sure you're working, and then so you can get money to go to school and then become like a professional teacher. So after that 3 months, I got paid. You know, the funny thing about South Africa is when you become a new teacher in the system, you don't get paid quickly. Your papers had to go through process. And by the time you go through the process and everything is fine, you might have gone like 3 months without salary. So the whole salary would come probably after 3 months, and then it comes like in a huge lump sum. So after that, my 3 months, I just said, you know what? I'm just going back home. I just want to go back home because life is far better and like back home, and why should I be here? And then the very day I got paid, I got a phone call from a friend who said, hey, you know what? There is this former school I was working at. They need a maths teacher. They've been struggling for like almost the whole year. Do you want to apply for that job? And I said, no, I'm tired. I just want to go back home. Because I know if I'm back home I'll be far better than I am here. And then I said, oh, hey, just give it a try. Just give it a try. Just give it a try. So I did. And when I put in my application, it was less than about like 2 minutes. The principal just called me and was like, hey, where have you been? I've been looking for like a maths teacher for like almost a year now. And I was like, where have you also been? I've been moving from one school to the other. Yeah. So he he asked me to come over. I went over, he interviewed me, and then he saw my qualifications, and eventually I landed like the job. And that was when I was working continuously for like a very long time. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know you didn't teach in Ghana, so by this question, at least you can give me a fair view.
Mhm.
What's the difference in teaching in South Africa and Ghana? You've seen how people teach in Ghana, so you can give us a fair view.
All right,
The
okay.
difference
Yeah.
between
So that's a good one. Even though I didn't teach in Ghana, like I schooled in Ghana, so I could be able
the
to relate to the teacher. Um, I feel like there is a little bit of similarities, but I feel like our curriculum is not, I would say the way their curriculum is designed builds a student compared to Ghana.
okay,
So let me break this down. So in South Africa, we have the intermediate phase, that is grade 1 to 7, right? Which Ghana would
yeah,
say class 1 to
good, fine,
GHS
okay,
1.
great,
And then
okay,
you move to the senior phase, which is the senior phase, which is grade 8 to 9. That is GHS 2 and GHS 3 in Ghana. And then after that, you move to the FET phase, which is
okay,
grade 10 to 12, and then you exit. So grade 10 to 12 is in Canada is going to be SS1 to SS3.
good, yeah,
Now, their system is such in a way that you don't move from one school to the other, like in Ghana. You go from you go from class 1, and then you go all the way to JHS 3, and then you exit and you go to a different secondary school, right?
yeah,
In South Africa, they have it's always grade 8, which is JHS 2 to SS3. It's always one school.
okay,
So you go from grade 1 to grade 7. So even though grade 7, 8, 9, that is the senior phase, you have grade 7 being part of like the intermediate phase.
yeah,
So you move from that to join the 8, 9. Now this is what you do. In grade 7, 8, 9, you take subjects like creative arts. Creative arts is more of like dancing, singing, musical stuff, and all that. You do natural sciences. Natural sciences is it's physics, chemistry, biology, IT, right? In Ghana, we'd say integrated science. Then you do math, you do English, you do their local language, depending on like where you are. So like in Ghana, you could do Ga, you could do Chi, you could do yep. So with them also, depending on where you are, you could do Setswana, you could do Xhosa, you could do Venda, you could do Zulu. So
yeah,
and then you do technology. Technology, which is one of my favorite. It has to do with building crafts. Like the kids would have to probably build like a bridge, or they learn about like the engineering system, like the GS, like how machines operate and all that. And then they have EMS, Economic Management Sciences. So
okay,
Economic Management Sciences is financial accounting, cost accounting, business studies, and then like this, like the business subjects put together.
okay,
So in grade 7, 8, 9, you are doing all of that. In grade
okay,
7, 8, 9, you are doing all of that. That means that before you get to what we would call secondary school in Ghana, like before you go to the
so what,
FET
you know
phase,
what you want to do,
you know what you want to do.
yeah,
So you know what business looks like. You know
yeah,
what art looks like. So
as you
you
can,
as a
yeah,
student, you know what math and science is going to look like. So you as a student, you are able to choose that, oh, I want to pursue business courses.
Yeah.
or I want to pursue sciences, or I want to
Transport.
pursue the arts.
Yeah.
But in Ghana, we don't have that. So in South Africa, everybody knows about debit credits, FIFO, LIFO, because everybody does it in grade 7, 8, and 9. But in Ghana, if you don't go to a business class, you don't know what debit is, you don't know what credit is. You
Yeah.
just
True.
jump into it. So I feel
Yeah.
like their system builds you to know what you want.
Yeah.
And they don't learn anything outside. That's one thing. Like if you realize why South Africa is one of like the developing, or I could say it's one of the most developed countries in Africa, it's because they do less importation. So they don't learn things outside their country. Like everything is about, if you're learning like the commerce, you're learning about like South Africa. Not like in Ghana would be learning the accounting system of UK.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I feel like their system is better off because it builds you as an, and they don't stress the kids. Ghana, you could do maybe trigonometry in SS1, and then that is it. And then you go to SS3, and then you would have to, like 2, 3 years after, you would have to go take an examination on that. No, that doesn't happen in South Africa. So in South Africa, like when you're in grade 10 and you're doing trig, you do a little bit of it.
Okay.
So when you go to grade 11, that is SS2, you are going to do trig again, then they add a little bit of it to it. I don't know if so it's like you get a foundation.
Yeah.
You
It's just
proceed.
like math.
Yeah.
Math. You do math, then you do elective math. The next one, then you
Yep.
do
So it's the
the
same
pure
thing.
math.
So it's something
Yeah.
you've seen already. They just add a little bit of it. And then
Yeah.
you go to grade 12, you still do trig again, and then they add a little bit of it. So you keep getting the foundation and you keep building on it. Unlike Ghana, you just do trig, SS1, and that is it. And
Yeah.
SS3, once you just see the question, you might have probably forgotten everything. So,
Hmm.
yeah. And then with their exam system, it's structured. It's structured. You walk into the exams room, and you know what is going to be at question one. I was teaching math. You know what is going to be at question one. Question one, you know what question one is. Question 1, 2 is. You just don't know what the values are, but you know that this is going to be the question. Question 2, so even like as of now, I can tell you what a South African math paper one, like they had two types of math. They had math, and then they have mathematical literacy. Mathematical literacy is so amazing. Like it's one subject I wish every country could have. So like math, question one is on quadratic equations. Question 2 is on number pattern, series, and sequence. Question 3 is also number pattern, series, and sequence. Question 4, 5, 6 is functions. Question 7 is finance. Question 8 is on calculus, differentiation. Question 8 is on prob, and then that is it for paper one. When you go to paper two, question one is statistics. Question two is I think analytical geometry, that is lines. Question 3 is on circle geometry. Question 4 is on trig. And question 5 downwards to 8 is on Euclidean geometry. So the kid goes in there knowing what they're going to
So
write.
you know what.
And
Yes.
like,
So you know it's
even if
full
I
of.
break down
So,
even question 1, it's being on quadratic, 1.1, it's just solve a quadratic equation. 1.2, it's also solve a quadratic equation, but this time around, maybe two unknowns, what Ghana would say simultaneous equations. So like
yeah.
question 1, 3 would be something on exponents. So you know what you're going in there to write. So you don't need to panic. And if you write it and you fail it, you have another opportunity to write it again. As many times as you want. Ghana, if you fail it, you are doomed.
Hmm. I understand why people love that. To be frank, I prefer that system. I prefer that system to what we are currently running. But I think I understand why I don't know how to dance because I didn't learn creative art. They didn't give me
You
the
know
grade.
what?
That is why I don't know how to dance. But Mr.
I
Jakwata is just like me. He also doesn't know how
you
to
know
dance.
you
If we
know
were
what?
taught how to dance, I think we'd have done better. At that.
Like I wish I could get a vid. If you look at South Africa, like one of the things they do very good in is like music and
Yeah,
dancing. And I'm
dancing.
not surprised like now they're taking over the world with like their piano music and then the dancing. You'd be amazed like every single person knows how to dance. And when they do
Yeah,
creative art, they put them into groups and they create their cultural dance and they present it. And when these kids are presenting it, oh goodness, the you could see the
the joy.
stake,
You see the joy.
you could see like every it's a pattern, like you could see that oh this and everybody's doing it. And nobody's gonna go like good academically. So like I think that is also one thing that our system doesn't. In South Africa, nobody cares about how much academically good you are or not. Ghana, they were like, oh, Charlie, this person go chop first, this person go chop second. No, no.
Yeah,
It's build the kids, let the kids go through the system. So they they don't do it like they don't create that competition in there. So the kids have that joy. It's just left to the kids to be able to know that oh this person in the classroom is like our top scorer or this person is they don't do that thing that we do to say that oh who would be first in class, who would be second in class, who would be third in class that even when you get your report you'll be able to see that oh like you were first, you were second. I feel like all those things affects us one way or the other.
yeah. People do true and poor just to get the position.
You see, so that is it. Yeah.
Before I ask the next question, I want us to go on a commercial break. Come back, then I'll put up my new question.
All right. Okay.
We sew to suit your brand with every stitch making your stuff look exquisitely consistent, reflecting your brand in every corner. Be it overalls, corporate uniforms, safety wears, lab coats, scrubs, polo shirts, aprons, and many others. At Prestige Clothing, we produce with durable fabrics that last you a lifetime. Locate Prestige Clothing at North Carnation Swan Lake. Contact us on 0244 695057. Prestige Clothing, your ideal clothing company.
Before the break, I said I was supposed to ask you a question, so we are back. So let me put in this question. But before the question, I would like to say this. You give a lot of breakdown about South Africa's school system or educational system compared to Ghana, and I was really impressed with the breakdown you gave because I wish I had that kind of education or have been able to provide some for my kids. When we look at Ghana educational system, I don't know, but they are now trying to tell us there are things they've added to the new curriculum, which has not even been communicated to teachers, to parents. We don't even know much about. I think some of the schools here are trying to adapt the Cambridge system, which is similar to what you were trying to put up or explain with the grade 1 to 7 and continue from there to A level and all that. I think that kind of educational system is helping the in today's mind. So when you watch the people here who are going for that kind of educational system, it's mostly the elite, like the rich, those who have money,
The
because it's quite
mentality is
expensive.
different.
Yes. Because when you have an experience with people who went to such schools, you realize that their thinking is quite different from you going through the Ghana educational system. It's like the Ghana educational system has painted us in a way that it's about memorizing things and being able to write it. So if I'm not that kind of person who can memorize things and write them, then I'll not be a top student or classified as being brilliant in a way. There are students who are able to express themselves in so many ways. Let me see, maybe art or those people, like the way you say they do creative arts and teaching them how to dance. See, me, I don't even know how to dance for my life. Things like that could help those kids who have those talents it's not everything which is school. Some people will end up being musicians, being instrumentalists. It doesn't make them worse off than those who go and become lawyers, doctors, and all that. For me, I prefer an educational system which will be able to pull out the best from the kids and being able to let them bring out what they can provide to the world, to change the world. Our system is now, for me, I don't have a lot of confidence in our system. Just that I don't have that kind of resources and money to say I'm taking into that 150,000 a year school fees, you get it. That's the problem. But I'll prefer the ed tech. I have a friend who is now into the edu tech kind of education, using technology to teach kids and letting them bring out those aspects of, which I think is a good thing. Maybe one day you have to come back and help us reform our educational system. I don't know, but if you have plans, I think you should consider that. Coming back one day and helping us reform our educational system. Because they are not even adding we parents. I don't know, but they are not communicating anything to us and what they are trying to do to help the kids and all that. So it's a lot that we need to go into. So I'm impressed with the system. Maybe one day I'll end up coming to start basic grade one from in South Africa one day. So okay, Mr.
Yeah.
Jakarta, over to you.
Yeah, so you see, we talked about South Africa, and you gave us the you give us the difference between their teaching style and how they go by educating their young ones. Now, I learned you've relocated to the US. Can you give us the steps how that opportunity also happened? So from Ghana to South Africa, and from South Africa to United States, how was the process like?
All right, okay. So it's all like I said, it got to a point in time, I personally I didn't even want to think about the US, right? Because after a number of visa um interviews, refusals and all that, because sometimes you just go in there, you have all the necessary documents. They
Yeah,
don't even ask you a question, they just tell you you've been refused.
yeah.
Like no question, nothing. So life was like by the grace of God, life was comfortable in South Africa. It was amazing in South Africa. But I now became a family man, so I had to think more about my family other than myself. So I realized that there were less opportunities for my family um, compared to just me alone being like being successful. So then I now decided to like divert into like other ways, and then the US opportunity came up. Got a job interview, worked through that, and then here I am.
Oh, so just okay. So tell us the first step. So when you got
Right,
to
okay.
the US, did you start? You see, when you went to South Africa, you have to make sure your paperwork is clean and is good before you start
Yeah.
working. Did the same thing happen when you went to the US?
All right. So with the US, so with South Africa, I didn't go in there with like working documentations. So I had to
Okay,
change to get that. But with the
okay,
US, God being so good, I came here actually with documentations that would get me working directly.
okay,
So yeah, so I didn't really had to go through applying for working documentations because work was already there. I think that also made it easy for me to like go through the visa process easily because work was already there. So it's about you making yourself available and then starting to work.
okay,
But the
okay.
difficulty that I think most people would face. I think later I would come up and show you guys how you can land a teaching job in the US. Um,
Okay.
Now the thing is, when you get into the country, you need accommodation. You need to settle down. So even though you have job, you're not coming in unless probably you have a job that is providing you with those facilities before you get into the country, which I barely think you would have that. Like on the scale of 1 to 10, it's just going to be like your chances are few. So when you get in there, you would have to get your own accommodation. You would have to sort things out before you start working. And it's not easy, but God being so good on my side, I had my elder brother here already. So
Okay.
by the time I got here, he had helped secure some of these things for me. That is from my side, but like other people I've seen come in, they didn't have it easy. So it was like a walk-in for me. So I got here, he picked me up from the airport because he wasn't in the same state I was going to be working. We actually got an Airbnb. He paid for it for like about a week. He stayed with me for like about 3 days. Got me everything that I needed from right from a singlet all the way to toothbrush, like almost everything. And then he had already secured accommodation for me. And yeah, so all we were just doing was waiting for the lease agreement to start, which was going to be like in within a week. So he stayed with me for like 3 days. He and his wife, they taught me a number of things that I know today that if I did not know, I don't think life would have been easy like those few days. So he taught me
Okay.
those things, and then after 3 days, they left, and I was on my own. And yeah, when the time was ready for me to move into the house, I did, which was like about 3, 4 days after they had left. So I just walked into the house, and we had already purchased the bed, couch, and everything. So when I walked into the house, that's the very same day, I think, in the afternoon, the bed came through because here is different. It's not like Ghana, you go buy a
Yeah.
bed and then same day delivery. Then
Yeah.
you go get a bed and then you can get a delivery the following day, or you can
Yeah.
get a bed after 1 week. So yeah, but you can get blow up beds and then yeah. So that was an easy transitioning for me because I think uh, my brother made it easy for me. But I've seen people go through stuff and it's not easy, especially if
Yeah.
you don't have anybody you coming towards to help you transition into the system. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about your first day in the classroom. What
Oh. All right. So before I got to the US, I had taught for like I think about 9 years. I taught
okay.
for like about 9 years in the classroom, so you can tell I've got like a number of years of
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
But trust me, when you walk into the US classroom, after going through a number of trainings, after watching a number of videos, after doing a lot of research, you'd realize that when you walk into the classroom, you're like a day one teacher because the whole is totally different. The whole
Yeah.
system is entirely different. But because I'd gone through a number of trainings, and then my niece also told me a couple of things to expect. The trainings also tell you a couple of things to expect, but you walk in and you go like, oh, it's real.
Yeah.
So first day, walked into class. So their system was a little bit different. You have a class and then the kids come to you.
Okay.
You don't move from class to class. So you have a class and then the students come to you. So if you have like 6 periods, that means so in my school we had 7 periods. One period is planning. Like it's like what Ghana would say, oh, something like a free period.
Okay.
So So first period group of kids came in, they were super amazing. Like they were all quiet, looking at me. There were a few behavior issues there. Was okay. Second period walked in. I'm like, oh, I'm actually having a good day. They were also super amazing. And then third period walked in.
Gangsters. The gangsters came in.
You can call them that. Then they came in and I was trying to give them directions and what I expected of them because it's day one. You need to like build, like let them know what
Yeah.
you
The
expect of
stand
them.
and yeah.
And then one girl just walked out, like she just got mad and just walked out of the classroom just like that. And I'm like, what do I do? I don't know what to do. Like it's so after school, I just went to my mentor to say that, oh, this is what happened. And she just smiled and she said, no, next time when something happens like that, like when the student walks out, just pick up your phone and call the front office and just let them know like a student walked out of the class. And then that is it.
Okay.
So
Ghana, the way to lash your back, I'm sure you return back to the
You
class.
will walk out. Mm.
A Jamita will lash your back and your brain will reset
it,
automatically.
it's totally different. Like here, the system is more of like it's more of like managing them. You would
Yeah,
have to
yeah, yeah.
manage them
Manage
in
them.
order
Yeah,
to, you would have to manage them. You'd have to build relationships.
yeah.
That is very key. So, unlike our system in Africa where
Authority. You just need to
kids,
show authority. That's all.
yeah, kids, kids respect everybody. They can go to
Yeah,
everybody. The system here is different. Like everybody's a stranger to every kid.
yeah.
So if you're not even teaching the student, if the student is not like you in your class, they don't regard you as their teacher. You know their teacher, they don't know you.
No,
And even like with the students you have in your class, you need to build that relationship. You need to let them understand that like you're on their side. You're here to help them. You're here to help them grow, help them develop and all that. So it's more of like managing, building the relationship before the teaching comes in. Because you can be advising a hungry man. You first of all have to feed them. And now when they are fully satisfied, you can now tell them what you want to tell them.
okay. So before I ask you the comparison, the difference between Ghana and South Africa. So how was the difference between South Africa and the US?
All right. So the South Africa system is similar to the American system.
Okay,
Like there is similarities. So with the American system, now one thing is Americans don't believe you should go to school till you are 5 years old.
okay,
So anything before 5 years old, it's depending on you, the parent, you'd have to pay for it.
okay,
So if you want your kid to go to preschool, you'd have to get them into a preschool and then you pay for it. And then in Florida, we have the VPK, that is voluntary pre-kindergarten, right? So the VPK is free. So that is a year before the kid goes to kindergarten, right? That is where the school starts.
okay.
So when the school is like around when you're around 4 years old, you get enrolled in there and then you go for free. And then, but anything before that, your parents should be ready to pay between $200 to like $380 every week for you to go to school.
It's a lot.
Yep. So if you have like 1 year old, 2 year olds, 3 year olds, and then you want to get them into a school, then you would have to be ready to pay that amount of money. But I think there are like counties that have programs where you can have your kid go there, you pay something little, or it's free or something. But on I'm just speaking on the general, on the average. If
Yeah,
you want to go
yeah.
to preschool, you have to pay for it. And it's always between if it's The age depends. So you're looking at between $200 to $390, $400 every week. So that's like about if it's even $200, that's like about $800 every month, which is expensive.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
so you'd
what are some
from
of the
there,
habits? Okay. No, continue.
so from there, then you can go like kindergarten, there you go do grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, right? That is
Okay,
elementary school. And then now you move to middle school.
middle school. Okay,
The middle school is grade 6 to grade 8, what Ghana would call class 6
six to
to JHS 2.
okay,
Then now, in their system, you could do like you do the core subjects, which are math, English, that is ELA, and then civics. Civics is more of like social studies.
okay.
Yeah, like those are the core subjects. And then in addition to the core subjects, you now do electives, like you can do band, like you can do music, you can do acting, you can do dancing. You see the way the whole system is. So
Yeah,
you have kids in middle school who already learn how to play instruments.
instrument. Yeah,
You have kids in middle school who already know how to dance professionally, ballet, all those kind of stuff. You have kids in middle school who already know how to draw artwork
yeah.
because they do art. They have something we call CTE. CTE is like computer designing. That is like how to Photoshop um, a picture, how to create a picture, how to create an
Yeah.
image, right?
Editing
So
videos and stuff.
there you go. So as of middle school, the kid is equipped with all of this. I bet if you take a number of Ghanaians or Africans, how many of us can play an instrument?
No.
Yeah. Um, if I need to do some Photoshop or create something, I need to go get somebody like Eraser to do editing for me because I don't know
Yeah,
how to do it. But
yeah,
here, as early as middle school, kids even learn photography. It's a skill, like they learn it in CTE, they learn it how to create a badge, so they get equipped with this. So one funny thing I would say is when I started working, like most of my colleagues, they design here you have to decorate your classroom. And it's not like you have
yeah.
to make your classroom welcoming. You have to
Yeah.
decorate your classroom. You would have to
With some
like
with some masks, balls,
yeah,
pan, and those
so
things.
and
Yeah,
people,
people.
even like worksheets you have to end. But I started working, people do that. Like, and I wonder like, how are you guys able to do this? Because back where I'm coming from, you have to get a designer to do those kind of things for you, right? But
Yeah,
here, like everybody is equipped, but working in their system, I now began to understand that, oh, it's a skill that people actually learn right from middle school through. Like you have kids in middle school, you can give them work and ask them to do a PowerPoint presentation. When do you
yeah,
learn how to do PowerPoint presentation? In our system, our time, you have to get to the university, and then it's even going to be in a group. You might
yeah,
end up not even
That
doing
one,
it.
that one, I even stand behind.
yeah.
You're right.
That one, okay, you
But
don't end up doing it. Yeah,
You end up
here
not
you
even
can,
presenting.
yeah. But
yeah,
here you have kids in middle school who are able to do PowerPoint presentation. Like it's amazing. So before they get to high school, and you there are some courses like you can start reading nursing, you can start reading business, all the way in high school. So when you're out of high school, you actually have a diploma. So if you probably let me see, I think this movie oh, Mikano has this movie. It's one amazing movie. It's called
Elementary something something. Is it the
no,
elementary
no, no.
one?
It was one of his big time movies, like
Love don't cost a
when
thing.
Love Don't Cost a Thing.
yeah,
You saw how they were in high school and they were working on an
yeah,
engine
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that is like a reality. Like
Yeah.
if you have people who are learning like education, early childhood, like teaching little kids, they learn that in high school. They don't need to go to the university to go learn that. So you can get out of high school and you have a diploma, you are fully certified to get a job to work. We have a technical school near us. And technical school would Ghana would say like SecTech, right?
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
kids, they build beds, they build like furniture in high school. Ghana, the only time you have people doing that would be our visual arts students. And that is even,
They don't build. They don't even build nothing. They don't build. Yeah. No.
you see, so
Unless
that
you
is,
Even with
don't
the
go to
building, when they
school.
even go there and they are going to build, they are like, it's time for siesta. They should go and sleep.
you see,
Have you
No,
forgotten when you
most
were
schools
doing
are learning.
this thing, night learning and all that? When you go to study beyond working study hours, they are like, "Why are you studying? Go back and sleep."
and,
That's what
and
they
you
are
know what,
facing.
one thing too, I would say is like their system, they don't like teach you that one time and then you have to go take a test. So like let's say exponent in sixth grade, you have a bit of it you learn. Then probably you go to seventh grade, you have a bit of it that is added up to it. You go to eighth grade, and then you have like a little bit of it. So of it, then you learn. So because I teach math, let me just use math as an example. So up until seventh grade, they build you up. And then when you get to eighth grade, you do what we call pre-algebra. So when you now do pre-algebra, then now when you go to high school, ninth grade, then now you now do algebra one. So they build you so they put you into like algebra class. Back home in Ghana, you just start off algebra, boom. There you go. If you're able to survive, that is you. If you're not able to
Yeah.
survive, that is you. And they build the kids on reasoning, not like the reasoning behind the learning, not do it and go. It's like the reasoning behind the learning, relating it to like real life scenarios. How would this play off in your real life situation? That's how their system is more of like they build kids for success. So if you don't go to like I said, you don't go to preschool or you don't go to VPK and then you start from grade one. The only thing is going to be those kids that went to preschool and kindergarten before you would be able to like know numbers like one, two, three, ABC. They are able to write, but you would not. But in grade one, they are going to teach you how to do it. So they don't force the kids. Like Ghana, you see like a 3 year old and they are busy teaching them how to do things. The brain is not matured. So that's like we forcing it. That's why you realize that back in Ghana, theoretically, we 100%. But when it comes to applying it, so you have somebody being like a doctor in economics, but if you give the person an economical situation to analyze, it's gonna be a
Please,
different
you can't
story.
say that former vice president to make it.
I
You
didn't
can't say
say
that former
anything.
vice
I
president.
didn't
Beg
say
you.
anything. But you see here, you have little kids and like their reasoning. So it's different. I feel like we push maturity back home because things like you're 5 year old, they are expecting you to know this at 5 years old. No, here that's why I say here, like here the system works. Like when you go for a doctor's appointment, they go like, oh, at the age of 3, the kid is supposed to be able to do this and that. So if the kid is not being able to do that, then that means you're not going to be finding ways and means to make that happen. So back home, we don't really use systems. So say, oh, my child is 3 years old and they are not talking or they cannot read. Maybe that is not the stage. So if the system is between 3 and 4, the kid should be able to read. And then now the kid is not reading, then now the doctor will say, all right, go see a speech specialist, and then they help the kids to like grow, develop, and all that. But our system, we always push things like You're 5 year old and when they tell you you need to be able to wear your own clothing, maybe you're not in that stage.
Yeah.
Anyway, what benefits will you say the teaching there gives to you teachers, which Ghana is not providing for our teachers? Why everyone wants to migrate to the US too? Or maybe any benefits you guys are getting that we don't know that you can talk
You see,
about.
you should talk about what's the benefits you got when you was in SA and what is getting now in the US. So that people will know that at least you can choose if you want to go to
Okay.
US and South
Okay,
Africa. South
then
Africa choose an abroad.
I'll
So
I'll rephrase the question.
yeah.
So let me rephrase the question. What benefits are you getting from your teaching in the US compared to Ghana and that of South Africa? Which other way
Okay.
can you tell me maybe the benefits teachers there are getting compared to South Africa and that of Ghana, which maybe Ghana is not getting? That's why every teacher in Ghana wants to migrate to the US or maybe South Africa.
All right, okay. So let me just start it off with the real facts. So we all know how much teachers have been paid in Ghana, right? If I don't know how those in the international school get paid, but I think they would be better off compared to the normal private school and public school. Salary wise, I think teachers are better off in South Africa and then the US. I would take South Africa top notch because with South Africa, I'm just saying that that is a top notch because I'm looking at their standard of living and how much teachers make, right? Yep. So that is one of the benefits. You get better salary compared to what you'll be earning in Ghana as a teacher. But the one main thing I really see as like a great benefit is the personal development. Like you as a person, you grow in your profession. You as a person, you grow in your profession. You are not stagnant. It brings out the best in you. So, like the US, for instance, you as a teacher, you need to be creative. Like we're going back to school very soon. And as a teacher now, you need to be thinking of ways to build relationships with your students. In Ghana, if you don't even think of like what is going to happen first day, you just go to class and then you just do what you have to do. But here you're thinking of ways of how do I build relationships with the students? How do I make my classroom engaging? How do I get games into my learning, like teaching kids, like using games? Like I could just pick cards, normal cards we play, right? And use it to teach graphing, or I can even use it to teach exponents. I can use it to teach integers, positive, negative. So it brings out that kind of personal growth and development in you. And I think that is if everybody's main aim is for them to develop personally when you're in a career, you don't want to be stagnant. So I think the main benefit is the personal development and growth that you get. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so you
with
talked
all
about
these three countries, which one will you suggest I migrate as a teacher? South Africa, US, or I should stay in Ghana?
no,
If
I'm coming.
if
Let me get to the benefits. You talk about salary, you talk about growth. What about health? Do they pay for your health? Do they
yeah,
when you're sick, what happens?
health benefit. Yep. Forgot to mention that. Health benefit is also very good. Like my county, for instance, like the district I work in, our health benefit is very, very good. Also, some your pension is also very good. There are some other basic benefits as well that like if you're a teacher, you go to some places, or like you're a military person, or you are a veteran, or you work in the health sectors, there are some places where you go and you get staff and you get a discount, or it's going to be
Okay,
free for you. Yeah, so those are some of like the benefit. Yeah.
okay.
but
And those
I just wanted to speak about like the
that,
main ones.
does those benefits extend to the if you're a family man, your kids, your wife?
So for instance, like with insurance, right?
Yeah.
You would have to put your family on insurance and they pay for it. It doesn't cover your family. You can add them to your insurance plan and then you pay for it. It's cut across all working sectors. Yeah, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so it's not like Ghana. I
Yeah.
think I know where you're coming from. Like Ghana,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
my dad my
The
dad was
company.
working at
Yeah.
my dad was working at Gasm and then
Yeah.
his health covers all of, so those are the things you would miss when you come to the US. No. So like you working, if you have 3 kids, your wife, and you put them on your insurance, you pay for it.
I see.
You
So
pay
the only
for
thing
it.
they take off, they only take off you. They don't
You
care
only
about the
take care
other
of
person.
you. No, they only take care of you. You can add your family to your insurance plan and then you pay. And then the funny thing is, we're actually talking about health insurance, right? With the health insurance, it's if you have health insurance for like general medical care, you need to get one for vision. Vision is not
And
included. You need to
dental.
get for dental. So unless you buy a package which covers all of it. So if you buy the package which covers all of it, then that means more premium. You pay more.
Yeah.
So this is where sometimes Ghana becomes interesting.
Yeah. 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 So here is your question.
Oh, yes, but um, my question is, which of these countries will you suggest I move to? Looking at the benefits coming
Me
in.
personally, I would always go in for South Africa.
Okay, why?
Because, yeah.
So I would go for South Africa because putting everything in general, one, cultural wise, right? Because
Okay.
South Africa, I would say it's more of like a blend of the US and Ghana for me.
Okay.
You have,
True.
you have a touch
Yeah.
of the American life and system, and then you have Ghana as well together, right?
Yeah.
And the standard of living in South Africa is top notch. The standard of living in South Africa is the top notch. So let's say, for instance, before I left South Africa, I think my net salary was around 33,000 rands, right? Which is like a lot of money if you know anybody that understands the South African system, 33,000 rands. And we were living in like 2 houses. So paying like double rent and everything, double utilities and all that. But that wouldn't even add up to like 10,000 rent, right? So
Yeah.
it, it would be like probably with two rents and all that, you'd be running somewhere between 8,000 to let's say roughly 10,000. So if you take 10,000 out of 33,000, how much are you left with? That is like
So, so
23,000.
in general, you say South Africa's cost of living is quite lower.
Mm, Um, I think it's better. I wouldn't say it's lower because I'm just talking about myself because somebody there might be earning like 5,000 rand, right?
Okay.
And that would be a challenge for them. So I'm just looking at like the teachers scenario. So comparing it to, and then that is comparing it to, let's say here on the average, let's say on the average, if you make like about 5,000 or $6,000 a month, right?
Okay.
Then your rent alone, that is if you live in as a person, your rent alone could be like 2,500 if you're a family
Like
person because
half your salary.
you cannot have like a one-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
You cannot be sharing with somebody because you're a family man. Your kids have to
Yeah.
have their own room, right? That should take like almost half of your salary is gone. So and then probably your kids are going to preschool. You're looking at paying like 200 to 380 to 9400 dollars every week. So taking that into consideration, you'd realize that most of your income goes into like expenses. So, but other than that, in SA, it's not like that. Like about depending on the expenses, you might not even go like half of your salary going into expenses. So yeah, looking at the standard of living. And then the other thing too is SA is more of like a touch of the US and then Ghana. So you don't miss home. But here it's solely like a different lifestyle altogether. You don't
Yeah.
have a feel of home, Charlie. Here you can be living in a neighborhood for like 3, 4 years, and then you don't even know your
Okay, so
neighbor.
they do. Yeah.
You've not even spoken to them. You can be working in a workplace, and then you don't even know the people you work with. If if you start somewhere, it's difficult to like get somebody to help you. But like SA is more of like Africa. When you start, somebody would like more of like Ghana actually. When you start,
Yeah.
somebody can just stop and say, "Oh, Charlie, do you need help with this?" And then they help you out. And here it's not like that. Everything you have to make a phone call, have somebody come take care of it. You pay.
Everything are money. Everything are money. Everything
Yeah,
are
that
money.
is that is what I say. Like the system pushes you to like do people go like, oh, it's nice there, but it's the system. Like for instance, somebody say, oh, you have internet unlimited. Yes, you pay for it. You
Yeah.
you can make phone calls. You pay for it. Like everything. So for instance, even if we take like insurance for now, right? You pay health insurance for yourself. You pay for your spouse. You pay for your kids. You also pay insurance for your car.
Yeah.
If you have a phone and then you don't want to lose it, you want to have it back, you pay insurance for it. And then, like for instance, you buy a TV, any appliance you buy, they'll ask you, do you want to pay insurance on it? So that when it gets broken, you are able to get one out of warranty. So everything you pay. Charlie. Even like a couch, you buy a couch, they bring it to your house. If you want them to just fix it, you would have to pay. So if you go to the shop, buy a bed or buy a couch, buy any dining set, there's a difference. You might get free delivery. Even the delivery, they've got like different types of it. Either they leave it at your doorstep, it's a different price. If they take it inside the house, it's a different price. If you want them to take it inside and fix it, it's also a different price.
I see. I see.
We sew to suit your brand, with every stitch making your stuff look exquisitely consistent, reflecting your brand in every corner. Be it overalls, corporate uniforms, safety wears, lab coats, scrubs, polo shirts, aprons, and many others. At Prestige Clothing, we produce with durable fabrics that last you a lifetime. Locate Prestige Clothing at North Carnation Swan Lake. Contact us on 0244 695057. Prestige Clothing, your ideal clothing company.
So the question they go like, wait, at the camera, can see the question. Forget the question I want to ask yourself.
Why? Keep you one flat one. The
And
way
the full bed self.
He dey feel bad now.
why? What time you go catch your razor in there?
Oh, you can't catch
I
like
can't catch that.
one or 12
The one
something.
no.
12 to 7
Some
one
part
I
now.
mean, I mean you're there
some
and
part
then
do
no
the blow.
far.
Some part do the blow for my eye top, so Charlie.
I mean you're there and then no far.
You know, far,
So
but
No,
the
no,
guy
no,
put
no,
some
no.
fan before in front. That's why the this thing is
so
blowing.
if
Now we want to we want to talk about family life, family, personal life, sorry, personal life, family. So, how is the family life in US? Is it when you were in
Expensive, expensive.
yes? How are they adjusting when you move them to the US? Did they adjust quickly, or what you were going through, they were also experiencing the same way?
Um, so luckily my kids didn't grow up in Ghana, so they they came in very, very young. So they just walked into the system and it became their system. Because the youngest came in when she was like 6 months old, and then the oldest came in when he was 2.5 years old. So they just got into the system. My wife was already familiar with the South African system, which is just like this side, so it was easy to just blend in. Yeah. But family life in the US is expensive.
Yeah,
Expensive in terms of financially and then also time wise. So it's not just about like money, it's also about time. Because over here, um, if you need to have time for your kids, nobody's going to take care of your kids. So wherever they go, you have to be there. Um, let me just talk about it in general. Like if you have even kids, like my middle school kids who play sports, like my soccer boys. So just imagine if you have like two kids, one is playing soccer, one is playing basketball. You have to drop them off at school, pick them up from school, take them for practice, bring them back from practice to the house if they have other curriculum activities. So then now where is your time? You don't have
you
time for
also you have
yourself.
time for yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good. And then from that, if they playing sports, it means they'll need equipment, they'll need like all those stuff. So you have to buy them.
yeah,
Like I was given the first scenario, if you have kids who are below 5 years old and you want to enroll them in school, then you should think of paying like um 200 to $400 every week.
yeah.
So
Let's
it's drains,
do
yeah, it's drains. So if I'll just say like big shout outs to like most single parents here in the US. Because if you're
yeah,
a single parent, it's difficult. But if probably you have a partner, it helps sometimes you guys are able to balance whilst one person is working, the other one has the kids. And then in Florida, I don't know about other state, and I don't know if it's like a general US law. You cannot leave kids by themselves in the house until they are like 13 years old.
okay.
So if you have kids who are like 6 years old, there should be somebody at home all the time. And then you're gonna ask yourself, are you gonna pay for a babysitter to take care of them, or are you gonna do it by yourself? I would do it by myself because people barely trust babysitters. Yeah.
Yeah. So the last comment is bringing me to the next comment. How do you discipline you discipline them the US way or the Ghanaian way? You whap their ass when they become stubborn.
Yeah. When you go to Rome, you do what Romans do, right? There's a couple of shouting here and there, hey, 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 like right?
Yeah,
Because you know, kids sometimes you go like, be quiet. They don't understand be quiet, but when you scream, sometimes you
yeah,
lose it and you scream. But you know, the funny thing is the system makes your kids understand the discipline.
yeah,
Like yesterday, I told my boy to go for time out, and he was crying because he had time out of like 5 minutes, right? He had time out for like 5 minutes and he was crying. But on the average, if he were to be in Ghana and tell him go on timeout, he doesn't even care what timeout is.
yeah, yeah,
So that is like the consequences here. It's like I would say the system it makes you feel like the cause here if a kid you can take a kid's phone away from them and they would feel it.
Yeah.
Back home, you take away phone from the person, they
No, no,
wouldn't
no,
feel
no,
it.
no. Yeah.
So yeah, so when you go to Rome, you do what the Romans do. Yeah.
Yeah.
But my kids I would say like they're all disciplined in a way that I don't have to really discipline them a number of times. Most times it's like, hey, stop this, stop that, yeah. So
So for them, they are fully American. They behave the American way.
oh yeah. Like 2, 3 days back, I think I was in a meeting and then my little girl was like, Daddy, Daddy, and I wasn't paying attention to it. I was like, Calvin Deveer. I just looked at him like, I just looked at him like, are you serious right now?
Hey, but it's not even there. My boys call me by my first name. They don't call me
Yeah,
by
so
daddy. They just call me straight by
yeah,
my first name.
and I feel like it depends on the relationship you have with your kids, and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so
But
it's
for me, my girl, once she does it, because the mother, you know, I don't know, women have some funny way. When they are so sweet, they call you by maybe whatever name they call you. Like for
yeah,
me, they call me at home, they call me DD. But when
yeah.
maybe she's angry and she wants
So
something,
David,
David, David. So my girl too with them say David, David, then we'll all be laughing.
yeah, so it's all about like they say charity begins at home. So it's all about
Yeah,
the vibe in the house, and I
yeah,
feel like
true, true.
it builds the confidence of like the kids. But maybe back home in Ghana, they'll tell you, hey, don't do this, don't do that, and then you you go ahead and then you see most of us don't really have confidence because we take fear as respect back home.
Yeah.
So it takes our confidence away because you know
True.
very well this is like the fact you're trying to say it and say like how old are you, who are you to
Yeah,
do this, but you're
yeah,
actually putting the right fact out. But here it's not like
yeah,
that. Even in school, a kid comes in and they tell you the truth, they tell you the fact right in your face.
yeah,
And
true, true.
if back home they go like, huh? Are you talking
Eh?
to me?
Me penny now,
No?
me make a I
Yeah.
want to
And
speak.
Like a friend told me this joke. He said, the wife, a wife has been calling the husband baby at home. Because of that, the daughter calls the father baby. He sees the father
maybe,
anyway,
yeah.
baby.
Maybe,
So now
yeah.
the father has
So,
become his baby. So when he sees his father being in public, then he calls his father baby. Then they are like, why is
yeah.
he
So
calling him baby? He said that's how his mom calls him.
yeah, that's one thing I like about the US, right? If you want to talk about family wise, I would say US is okay, but if depending on how you want to raise your kids. So, you know, back those days you see people bring like their kids back home to Ghana to come school and all that. You might not want to understand, like you may not understand them, but getting here, understanding more. It's because they want their kids to have the Ghanaian culture instead of the American culture, right? Or the European culture. But it's all about preference. So, see, when you grow up in a certain way, you want like everything to be done in that way. That doesn't mean that like that is the right way, right? So, like coming here, I see why sometimes, like for instance, right? We go like, oh, white people get to do things on time.
Yeah,
It's Do you know why it happens that way? Because getting here, I realized that if something is scheduled for like 7:30, right?
yeah,
You have to be there 15 minutes before time.
yeah,
Latest by 5 minutes before time, you're there. So
yeah,
7:30, like the thing starts.
yeah.
But if you're not in the system, you don't know, you go like, oh, how do they start at 7:30, right? But for us, when they say 7:30, you get there at 7:30. But theirs is if it's at 7:30, that means that by 7:15, you should be there seated. Latest by 7:25, everybody is ready. So 7:30, boom, we start. That is their culture. Here, Vows Day, if you've got kids, you'd have to make a present for them. They take it to school and then they share with their classmates. So already you
Yeah.
instilling that thing of like learning how to love somebody, learning how to gift somebody and all that.
No.
So yeah, so it's all about
But
the
yet,
system, and then
yet
yeah,
upon all this, and it still doesn't. It doesn't work completely. It doesn't still go their way.
go
For
yeah.
people, you can have, because with this whole system, you can have kids taking weapons to school to kill their fellow colleagues because of
I
some
would, I would,
few.
I would. Since you brought that up, let me just touch base on that. So, like I would say, this place is very lonely. The main reason why we have those scenarios happening is because Cube, you'll be surprised that you have kids live in the same classroom for a whole good year and they don't even know each other or they've not spoken to each other.
Yeah.
Same students
By the
go
same
to the
way,
same class.
you yourself, you've not even seen your neighbors. You don't even see your
Just
neighbors.
there you go. So now they barely make friends. So when you have a friend, that is your friend, like that is your
Yeah.
buddy. Like if there is a fallout, you feel the pain, you feel the emotions.
True,
So
true.
most people are very lonely. So it's it gives them that chance to say, all right, okay, if everybody is just ignoring me, one little thing makes them feel hurt, and then they just want to go out there and
Yeah,
then
attention. Yeah.
good. Like things that you would not really be concerned about, somebody will be concerned about. Like
True.
back in Ghana, somebody can call you fat and say, "Hey, you fat," and it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Here, you can say that somebody, it will cause a whole big issue.
True.
You can be walking in Ghana and see somebody and say, "Hey, hello, you look beautiful." Like pass them a compliment. Here, if you're not careful with that, it could be sexual harassment.
Yeah.
So with this whole shooting thing and all that, it's caused like that cordiality, that friendship that we have back home. So people feel lonely, and then every little thing they just try to like take the matters into their own hands. So yeah.
Okay. So I just want, because of the serial, for the viewers to know why this episode. We should just go back and put the steps together. If they want to migrate to the US to teach, is it they should go through the South African way like yours,
Mhm.
or they can go through the straight. They just gather their documents and go straight to the US to apply for a job.
All right, okay. So I'll just go through one of the easiest way now as a teacher, because like I'm a
Okay.
teacher. So
Yeah.
it could be a teacher, it could be a student, it could
Student,
be
yeah.
any working field, but like let me just stick to being a teacher. Like one
Yeah.
of the easiest way, which is becoming very common now to land a teaching job in the US, is by going through the J1 visa.
Okay.
All right. The J1 visa is like a cultural exchange visa. So you're more of like a visitor, but you get opportunity to work.
Okay.
So you just have to, there are a couple of sponsors, like a couple of sponsors. There is TPG, there is EPI, there is Faces. There are a lot of them. Like there are a lot of
Are they
them.
local, or they're in the US?
Um, some of them are not. Most of them are based in the US. Some of them are like Indian based. Some of them are like
Okay.
Jamaican based. So the most important thing is just look out for like a cultural exchange sponsor, right?
Okay.
You go through the interviews, you get your documentations. First of all, like have a passport.
Yeah.
If you have plans of traveling, first of all, have a passport. Because
Most definitely.
I've had people that I try to help them get a link for them, and you take them through the whole process, and they go like, "Oh, I don't have a passport," and then I now need to go and apply for a passport, and then opportunity just comes. Like nobody's waiting for you, because
Yeah.
like teachers are needed around the world, except Ghana. We have
Yeah.
abundance of them. So in that case, you should make sure like you have everything ready, and then you can go through the J1 process. That is like the quickest way. Because if you go through the J1 visas, your sponsors would help you get a school.
Yeah.
If you get a school and then you get interviewed, it's not automatic, but if you are able to land a school and then you get an interview and you are able to pass your interview and the school decides to pick you, then you don't get your documentation so that you can go and have a visa interview. The advantage of that is this time around, it's not going to be like you come in as a visitor and then you have different intentions. But this time around, you come in to work.
Yeah.
So it's easy to get your visa at the embassy, and then you're also able to come along with your family. That is one way. The other
Yeah.
way is to also go through the H-1B visa programs. So the H-1B visa, it's more of like the American lottery system
Yeah.
where you apply, and then if you get an H-1B visa, you can now look for a school that will be ready to sponsor your H-1B visa, and they can go through. But all in all, I feel like the easiest way is to go through the J1. Or also you can go online. We have a couple of US recruitment sites like Indeed. You can go there, look for a job, apply for it. If you get an interview, you get interview, and then the school is interested, they're gonna be able to sponsor you. But all in all, I think the easiest way is a J1 visa. It's not just for
Okay.
teachers, it could be for like any other field, it could even be for
So,
students
yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We'll just wrap up with some fun facts. Yeah, that's what we call it, fun facts. So, what did you miss any Ghanaian dish when you moved to the US?
Yogurt, fan milk.
About there are plenty yogurt there. Or you're saying the farm milk yogurt.
Like telling the Ghana yogurt and fun milk, it's not like because we have the African store, right? We have the
Yeah.
African store, so we go there, we buy everything we want. You can get like everything you want from even
Yeah.
Abo Boy, you can get Abo Boy and buy and go cook for yourself. But you can find yogurt, you can find fun milk. It's not common. You have a
Oh,
couple of, and then also chocolate. King's
yeah.
bag.
Oh,
There are some
really?
things. There are some things that are unique. You never appreciate it unless you leave the country.
Yeah, yeah.
And then even like Charlie, the meat pie with the yogurt. So Charlie, meat pie with the yogurt, or Charlie
Now,
coconuts. If you don't walk for the streets
Are you
inside
talking
like
about the
coconuts.
holo pie?
Oh Charlie, like the UCC one. You see,
The UCC one is juicy, not the holo one.
I'm a big fan of meat pie, but you I bake it myself, but you don't you see it's like Kosciani Meko.
yeah.
Those or Tibom, you can make it at home, but the one they sell on the street, it has like
It tastes different. Yeah.
it tastes
Yeah. Yeah.
different. You can make
Yeah.
it yourself, but the feeling is not the same.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yogurt, fan milk, getting coconut on the street, like walking on the street on the hot sun, you see the coconut seller, I get some or get yogurt and some pie. Oh, I miss those moments. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You,
And
you
the
can
next
you cannot
question.
get that here. You can get that here.
Wow. Interesting. The next question. So, if you were not teaching, what would you be doing today?
I'll be a medical doctor.
Is that you are following your brother's footsteps?
That is one thing that I've always wanted to do. Like, I like helping people. I like things that I like fields that, I believe that you see when that smile somebody has on their face after you are there for them, you can get it anywhere. So I like fields where there have been moments where, like, let me just use teaching for instance. You struggle with students finally, and then
Yeah.
they complete school, and then the final day they walk to you and they hug you and tell you how much of an impact you've been to them, or they're gonna miss you. That moment, it doesn't come like it
Yeah.
doesn't come common. So like if you're a medical doctor, just imagine helping save
See
somebody's
someone's
life,
life.
and then
Yeah.
and then go like thank you. That kind of thank you is So I would be in a field where somebody could be somewhere to say, oh, I once had like a Ghanaian doctor. Sometimes you go somewhere, you go like, I'm a Ghanaian, and go like, oh, I had a Ghanaian teacher. Oh, he was this, like that kind of memory. So medical doctors, that would have
But
been it.
barbers
And
and
very
makeup
soon.
artists too. I said
What?
barbers and makeup artists too. They put smile on our faces. So barbers and makeup
Oh yeah,
artists
they
too.
do. They make you look different. They make you look different. You're right. They make you look different. Like now I'm losing my hair, you know. And
Yeah, yeah,
then
yeah, yeah. They can
if
work
I
some
had a
magic for you.
if I had a barber, they would make me look like young again, you know.
So the next question is, would you be consider yourself coming back home to continue on teaching, or you feel you'll find your place there?
Oh, coming back with teaching, I've just given myself a few years in teaching. Like I'm still pursuing my medical doctor like
Okay,
idea. So I might come home. I would not like I might be teaching, but I'll not be teaching like the everyday curriculum, probably maybe a medical doctor teacher, something
okay.
like that. But I don't know what the future holds. Coming back home, that one for sure. Because there's no place like home. Like most times, ask yourself, why do people like the despots, like all those rich people, they could still live their life here? Why do they come back home? You never appreciate like the beauty of home until you move out of the country. Like you sometimes hear even somebody to call to and talk to.
True.
It's not easy.
Yeah,
So that is why you have people to get themselves busy. You have all the resources. Before my family got here, I had everything. I had like TVs in every room. I had internet non-disconnected. I could watch anything I could watch. I could go to any shop and buy whatever I want to buy, but I felt lonely. And
yeah,
then if you don't take time, depression is going to kill you.
yeah, true.
But back home, you move
Hey,
out, Charlie. Even
ah,
you can call some friends and go like, "Oh, Charlie, can we meet here and then have some?" Here
one or
you
two bottles.
cannot. If
Yeah,
yeah, if you even want to somebody like, let's say even your own wife, if you want to go out with your own wife, you guys have to plan it. You have
yeah,
to decide it. Okay, babe, when are you going to be off work? And then you guys have to plan it. Like, is that a life? No. So,
true, true.
Charlie,
Give us
like the
one.
last time I was listening to a lady's interview, she said most people don't really know what living outside is like. If I'm in Ghana and I go broke, or I'm going through a hard situation, I'm hungry, I can just walk to your house or go to Eraser's house
Yeah,
unannounced and say, Charlie, you guys don't get food for there. You eat.
true.
Even when I'm
Yeah,
leaving, I can say, Charlie, I don't get anything for you. If you give me something for transport, you would give me, even if you don't have, you call somebody. Like, even if you are not
yeah,
there, your mom is there, or your wife is there, or even your auntie, I know I'll still get help. But ask yourself,
true,
if
true.
you hear
Yeah,
you get stuck, who are you calling?
start. Yeah, just start.
If for a week you don't have money to put gas in your car to go to work, who are you calling?
Yeah, yeah, start. I don't
So,
know if you heard the news. You heard the news about the two women, a woman and a child died. They were waiting for the ambulance or so, and they died also. The ambulance didn't come that early. And I was like,
so
ambulance. Ah, when I come there, the ambulance will not even come. Oh. The road car will not even let the ambulance come. You have to get your ass to the hospital. But if you get some taxi driver doing pay on the road, and you are
Oh,
gone.
Charlie, even here, if you don't have car, it's
Yeah,
it's it's difficult. If you don't have car, it's difficult to move around. You have to Uber, you have to Lyft, and it's expensive. Like Ubering
yeah,
and Lyfting, it's like expensive. So
true.
here the system is beautiful and all that, but I feel like there is no life. So one thing is you would fight to come and get like the system. You come, you'll be working, you'll be making the money, but now you begin to appreciate the life because there is no life here, right? There is no life here. So one thing about the US, like every little thing is a form of kindness. So people appreciate like little things. Like you going to somebody's house just to help them maybe fix something. They are going to appreciate it like you put $1 million in their account because you wouldn't get it. Charlie, here, if you'd have to buy tools, you'd have to get your own equipment. If something is broken, you'd have to fix them by yourself because if you want to pay somebody to come do it, it's expensive.
Yeah.
So when you go to people's houses, like go to people's garages, they have like equipment and all that, like gadgets that they fix their own. But Charlie, Ghana, you can just call, oh, Charlie Brata, makonya lebu, obetumi abeyama me. And then they are there, and you just find something for them, or you say, here you'd have to call a company, and then they'll tell you, all right, consultation, blah blah. Before you realize, $800, $1,000, $1,005 is gone.
Okay.
So
lastly,
home sweet home.
One advice for people, for teachers, or anyone who wants to come and work in the US. Just one advice.
One advice: be mentally and emotionally fit. Be mentally and then emotionally fit. Not just for teachers, but if you have plans of traveling, be mentally and emotionally fit. Because if you're not, you go crazy. Like the situation, the system, if you are not emotionally stable, if you are not mentally fit, you can handle the situation. So you need to have that. And then also I think patience. According to like patience, you being patient and then you researching, you asking people. Don't be shy to ask people things to say, oh, they are going to say, like Obi will be university partner, I won't name way. Trust me, you come to the US and basic things like starting a dryer or how to use a washing machine or how to turn the stove on, you already know. So be ready to ask questions, but I think above all, be emotionally and then mentally stable and be patient, and everything will fall into
place. Nice one.
And lastly, it's not green. It's not green on the other side. It's not green on the other side. It's not green on the other side. It might look green, but it's not green.
But we still want to see it. We want to see the other side.
Oh yeah, I would say I would want everybody to travel, come and experience it. Because when you tell people, they feel like, so there are a number of times like tell people like this is, and then they go like, so why are you not back? The main reason why some of us are not back is because it's more of like a marriage. Like marriage, when you get into a marriage and it's not a good one, you cannot just divorce, right? You're already in it. But you can tell somebody who is getting into it to say that make sure you take this step, that step before you go in there, right? So some of us, we've already been there. I've been like away from home for like almost 13, 14 years. Like my whole life has been outside. So I just have to make sure that I'm used to that system now. So I would tell you these are the things on the ground. Do you still want to do it? If you still want to do it, yeah. And then we are all not the same. People come and then they make it in like just a year. People come and they've been here for like 10 years, they still don't make it. People are here, like for instance, there are people even in Ghana, like they have got a good job, but they've not even been able to acquire property on their own. There are people who don't have a good job, they don't really earn, but like they have a lot of things to their name. So yeah. So it's not easy like people make it seem. It's a good system. It's a beautiful system, but it doesn't come easy. You still go through a few things. Yeah.
Okay. Deveer, Charlie, thank you. That was a good conversation.
Thanks to you guys. We miss home. We miss home.
True. Thank you for coming to Potbelly TV. And
Mr. The Potbelly self had joined the team small.
I know. We'll come back for more conversations. Today conversation is about migration to the US as a teacher. We might come back for more just or something else happening in the US.
Yeah, the next time
Thank
maybe
you
we'll
for
be
coming to
diving more
content.
into like the medical field and all that.
Yeah, true. So on the next episode, we shall definitely meet. Hot Belly TV.
Peace out.
We are
We sew to suit your brand, with every stitch making your staff look exquisitely consistent, reflecting your brand in every corner. Be it overalls, corporate uniforms, safety wears, lab coats, scrubs, polo shirts, aprons, and many others. At Prestige Clothing, we produce with durable fabrics that last you a lifetime. Locate Prestige Clothing at North Carnation Swan Lake. Contact us on 0244 695057. Prestige Clothing, your ideal clothing company.